Well, today we got Eric here from United Ag. Yeah, Eric, you're gonna be in the video if you weren't ready for it or not. Today we got a 9500 John Deere chopper here. It's a demo unit. We're gonna run it for a few hours, but Eric's been going through explaining a bunch of features and upgrades to it that we have no clue about. Ava is already testing out the handlebars.
I like this chopper so much.
Oh, you like it?
I know one now. I like the stairs.
We'll go through and kind of.
Pitch Eric needs.
Eric needs the sales.
Sell it to the daughter, not. We got toys, hats, clothes, whatever you need.
We got Brad here. He's one of the mechanics for chopper. I didn't get him on camera earlier. He's riding with Christoph, showing him how to do stuff. But I gotta let him be. And that way they actually get some chopping done. Oh boy, he kicked you out of the seat. No. So Christoph's chopped about 3-4 loads with it so far. And once he gets accustomed to how to operate it, because it is a little bit different than ours, it's newer. I'll make sure to get some in the cab footage of you for you guys. He's not working very hard. Our rake can't make bigger windrows because we don't want to break it. And the way we mow, it puts the least amount of acres on it because it's just one pass. And we don't want to put extra acres on it to make bigger rows. We should. I think Gerhardt's gonna up in the top of the hill a little bit, make some bigger windrows. If he didn't already, I'll call him too. That way he can actually work the chopper.
Well, it's I mean, you know, the proof's in the pudding too, right?
Yeah.
You can see like what the old chopper did to what this one's doing.
Exactly. So I didn't get a close-up, but this is Eric from John Deere. He's in the sales. Are you the main sales guy in the Swanton area? Or?
Yeah, ag sales.
Okay. And this is the demo. We have it for a couple hours. And kind of right now with how it is, it's raked exactly how we chop, and you can do an exact comparison of how it does to our 7500. That is how much?
How many years are you
I'm
in the truck? I mean,
well, yesterday I was chopping in second year, second high. Right now it's about the same because I don't think he's trying to push it too hard because he's only chopped 3 loads with it. But once we get accustomed, we'll see how faster we're chopping compared with the exact same size windrows, and then I'll make sure Garrett makes some bigger ones for you so he actually works it. They got going in this field. They did a couple loads this morning. They sharpened, and then they did a couple loads, and then it's called, I think, a smart shear bar feature. Eric was telling me the 8 series had it too, but basically after you chop a couple loads, your shear bar has a little bit of grime and it adjusts it even closer because the feed will knock it off smoother. I was kind of telling him about the shear bar, but I don't think I got the name right. I don't know if you want to tell him what it was.
so with the 8s and 9s, you can do a sharpening and a long shear bar adjustment. And then after you've chopped for a little bit and removed or cleaned up that burr from sharpening, then you can quickly do a quick shear bar adjustment and then reset the stationary knife to the knives for a better length of cut, less horsepower usage.
And then in doing that, he said you get more life out of your knives because you have more movement ability. Because like in ours,
you're gonna keep your knife sharper longer because the gap will be reset.
That and like in ours, if something happens, sometimes you can't always get the full life out of the knife. You'd have to kind of readjust it down. Yeah. Because you only have so much movement in your shear bar, and with that one you have a lot more.
Yeah, and these guys, there's more range of motion in the shear bar adjuster.
So you can almost get the whole life out of it, or the whole life, one of the two. and without ever having to, as long as they don't get knocked back, you never have to touch them basically.
Right.
Or if you switch to corn knives, like that's the only other time.
Crop flow is much different in these guys versus the 7s. So it's a lot more efficient and streamlined. You know, the 7000 series technically had a blower. This is technically an accelerator.
Okay.
So that'll speak to a little bit of the difference between.
How does that different than the blower?
Well, the blower just meaning it had to kind of, you know, the feed would come through and it would drop down
paddles,
and
right?
hit the paddles and then go straight up. Where this is a lot more, you know, it took that corner out of the crop flow. So now the accelerator is just making sure to clear the material after the knives,
okay,
and get it into the truck.
So like, if my thumb, if the curve, this part at the bottom was like your inline feed?
Yeah, so that would be like your 7000 series kind of, and now your 8s and 9s are more like...
That's how it flows up to the chute. So it's more of a longer arch, but the 7 series are a 90-degree almost when you hit the blower trying to shoot up. So it takes a lot more power and it slows the speed down. Get some footage of chopping. I'm getting both. We're doing camera and the GoPro. He's getting the hang of it now. But we can't go crazy fast because I mean our fields aren't like they are out west, beautifully flat. We got rough terrain, you got to work around it. But Gerhard, in one of the nicest fields, he made sure to make some nice big windrows so we can let her have it. But Christoph is going to have that truck full by the time he gets back there. Chopping right along here. We're doing at least 10 miles an hour. That thing's not even breaking a sweat. Alex is already over there waiting. So in the center of the field, we got Eric riding with me. Eric made a lot bigger windrows, so I'm gonna give Christoph the camera if he wants it or not, and he's gonna get some in the cab footage for us.
I guess you can hold it. That's what number 2 does to the sandbag. If I double click it, don't it?
Yeah.
That's why. Working it now.
So here you can see we finally got some windrows that can actually work this chopper. Brad's in there recording with my GoPro. So this is the first time I've heard this thing working all day, and it took a substantially large amount of feed to do it.
This has to be lower than this.
They did, yeah.
She's working.
So this is the biggest windrow Gerhard made. It was in the center of the field. So we told him make something big, and it's not as much volume as we'd want for grass, but it's 200 feet worth of what it grew. We were in really dry conditions, and then we just barely had rain, so it finally started coming, but it's still a lot of, that's a big row. Christoph is smiling. He's definitely working it now. He's smiling though, so he's having a good time. But I know our chopper would not be liking that. It would be struggling. He finally slowed her down because it took a lot. But that chute looks extremely full.
Yeah, look how quick that truck filled up.
Yeah, that thing was empty. Well, I started about right here. And he won't even make it down. That's how much Gerhard put in these two windrows. And that spout is busting out some feed. Well, we found some grass that Christoph overshot the box, and I'm not sure what he set the length to cut to.
Well, it was set to very base off moisture.
Okay, so ours definitely doesn't do it, but because it has the HarvestLab, as the moisture is, it'll change the length of cut.
Yep.
On the fly, basically, and it'll make it shorter or longer. What are they doing?
One of the kids wanted to ride.
Oh, yeah. I've not seen a full spout like that in a long time. It does look like corn coming out. That's the only time our chopper will come anything looking like that out of the spout. I mean, he didn't go very far and that truck's full. If we chopped like this all day long, we'd need more trucks. We got a couple minutes between trucks because we decided to fill them in a couple minutes, how fast it went. But Christoph's gonna pick the head up, and then Brad here he knows a lot more than us, and he's gonna kind of explain some stuff on it. And
these are the 649 premiums now. They've updated them with the 8-9000 series. A lot stronger. Every wear component's Duraline. Get a lot more last. Has Duraline around the augers.
okay.
But
Dual header drive.
yeah, the dual header drive is the biggest thing. So the teeth and auger match for length of cut and wheel speed. So as you go faster and change length of cut, your auger and teeth will change speed on the fly.
That way it's always the same,
Yep.
no matter how.
And with the HarvestLab,
How is this?
that is reading the moisture of the crop going through. That will also correlate down to the head with the
Okay.
mass flow sensors.
I know small things that we notice is the teeth are looks like double the size of ours,
Oh yeah.
and then the
that's
side chains almost look double the size inside here.
all- Yep, it's all the premium. They used to have a heavy duty model, but everything's heavy duty now with premium.
You might have to talk louder once we get closer to the engine.
They got the float on them. They used to have a cylinder that you got to unhook for grass to float side to side. Now
Okay.
it automatically, the cylinder goes into a float and the head will go with the cylinder still attached to give you your lateral tilt.
Okay. Because on ours, you gotta pull the spring out or the latch and
Yep,
unlatch
this one
it.
now the cylinder floats, so you don't have to do any of that. It's got the nice multi-coupler.
And then if you switch heads like grass and corn, it automatically
Yep.
adjusts that now.
Yep, it's automatic header detect, and it switches per what it reads on the wires. It knows if it has a corn head or a grass head on it.
Okay. It seems pretty simple to unhook the head.
Yep, very simple. They changed, it's just one lever now. You don't got to crawl underneath. It actually has an auto connect drive shaft that slides into itself. And there's one lever, you just pull it down and then put your stands down, you drop the head.
Yeah, and then unhook the hoses. Those
And
the
unhook
PTO, the hoses, that's basically the only manual thing.
The PTO is all automatic.
Oh, this on this one?
Yep, it has just a
Okay.
coupler that latches, and then you just got to unhook one lever for all your couplers.
Okay. Were you like explaining like the power curve when you guys were recording, or no? When we were
Not
lugging
really.
it? So basically when they were lugging this engine, Eric was explaining it earlier to me, with the 18 liter here, you have an extremely high torque curve.
Yeah, so you can lug it down, and where most engines would fall past recovery and you wouldn't be able to pull back, these engines have such a large torque curve that even when it is lugged all the way down, it will still power through it, and if you pull back, it'll instantly come back to full RPMs.
Yeah. So they had it down to like 1400.
Yeah.
And Eric said he's had it down to 12 something in a previous demo, and it's still recovered, which 1200 is basically idling for some old tractors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they changed it. This is a high pressure common rail fuel system, which is a big change compared to unit injectors.
Yeah. So this has no def, which will be a big selling point for anything going forward, because there ain't a single person in this world that likes def. It is most of the issues you have on new equipment is def related.
Yeah.
But that is a big, so this is the smallest of the 9 series.
Yep.
They go from the 95 all the way up to the 99 now.
Yep.
And this is 690 horse.
Yeah, and up to the 9700s, they'll be running this 18 liter.
What did they put in the 98?
98s and 99s are the LeBairs.
Okay, those still run def and all that?
Yep,
then?
those still have that.
Okay.
The big V12 engine.
Yeah. But John Deere has definitely made themselves a big selling point with the no def, because if someone can move away from that, they're going to. 100%.
Yeah. And this also has a HarvestLab. That's nice.
Yeah. So the HarvestLab, which is that big box right there, it's just covering up the computer. Did you guys show that at all when you guys were chopping?
No, I don't think we did.
So when they're going, it's basically detecting the moisture and what other stuff does, because we don't.
If it has all the constituents in it, it'll do dry. It does moisture, and it can do not too much for grass. With it will do alfalfa curves and stuff, but with corn, it will do a starch and protein and ash and everything. So it'll do some ash for grass, but it's just leading technology for what is coming out of the spell.
Yeah. And then with the HarvestLab, like we said earlier, you can change the length of cut with what's coming, and it's just more on the fly adjusting. It is more technology, which means more stuff to break.
Yeah.
100%. But like, even if you don't have the HarvestLab, you can still chop.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of these extra features that you don't need to put grass in your bunk.
If you had to run it manually, you still can.
Which guarantee you that there's those days that you're gonna have to. Ferdy just got done mowing, but might have to make this the cover picture. I mean, we got the 450 and we got the 9500 here. Ferdy just got done mowing up here at the heifer barn, and he's gonna go to the next field, but decided to stop in since he saw us waiting. You guys want to turn around and smile? No.
So Andreas has been recording from the outside. We're running this 9500. It is a hell of a beast, that's for sure. We ran it for a few hours, and it is an animal. But it does have a nice price tag behind it, so. But for the try it, and it was a nice machine to try. What do you think, Marcus?
Good.
You liked it too? Yeah. I think we chopped with it. How many hours did we chop with it? 4 hours probably. Probably altogether 4 hours. I had the lab with the moisture and all that trying this, so it's right around 51% right now.
Well, we're all done with the demo. I gotta say thanks to Eric and Brad for coming out and helping.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Henry, did you like it? Oh yeah. She did too, Avie did, and Marcus. But they're gonna take it back. It was appreciated that they let us use it for a little bit, and